Welcome to Profit Knocks,
a show about why to invest in real estate, how to do it the right way, what to buy, when to sell, and where to look.
We talk to successful experts, unlock global opportunities, and show you ways to reach what matters most.
Profits.
Welcome to Profit Knocks. My name is Konstantin Shilageta. I am your host today, and I am the managing broker and CEO of Interproperties. Today with me is Ray Loma.
Hello, Konstantin. It's a pleasure to be here.
Hello, Ray. Ray is a part of a family. He is a real estate broker at Interproperties. Also, Ray is a loan officer. His profound understanding of market, of financing, and experience in real estate of 20 years will help us today to answer all our questions about real estate market trends. We are diving today in the statistics of National Association of Realtors for year 2024, which is a 2024 profile of home buyers and sellers. This report is a goldmine of insights of the market trends, which gives us a full understanding of what was going last year in the real estate market and activities, and possibly will give us an idea what to do, how to behave in the real estate market this year. Whether you are a real estate broker or buyer or seller, knowing those trends will really help you navigate your investments and your activities in purchasing or selling properties. We will start today with the buyer's profile. Buyer's trends in 2024 state that we had the lowest percentage of first-time home buyers in the market. Why do you think, Ray, is that number is so low?
Well, the affordability issue is usually a problem. There is different variables, but the affordability issue, challenges, and high mortgage rates were contributing to the low percentage in this case. It is a drop of 10%. Last year, I think it was 34%. Now I think it's 24%. So affordability is the main issue. A lot of people couldn't afford to buy a home anymore because rates were increasing last year, and also home values were also going up. So that's why I think it's we lost quite a bit of percentage there.
So first-time buyers, lots of people do not think that they qualify to purchase the property. They think that they either don't have enough money for the down payment, or they think that they don't make enough money to be qualified for the loan. What do you think people should do when they are the first-time buyers?
I think the issue is a lot of people think that their credit is really bad because they have different behaviors. But I would encourage a lot of buyers to be there. Don't disqualify yourself when you're thinking about buying a home, because once you talk to a professional, they will help you to navigate from the start and from the beginning, I should say, and they will pre-qualify or pre-approve you. The first thing that you have to look when you want to buy a home is to get pre-approved with a lender, so that way you have the terms of the loan. Let's say if it's an FHA loan or if it's a conventional loan, right? And that's the easy part of the of the equation, because once you have that, then you'll figure out where you're gonna get the money, where the realtors are gonna get the money from. Maybe you're gonna get a concession if you don't have enough money for down payment from the seller. So there's a lot of different ways to kind of elaborate your process, so that way you are buying for the first time.
The rental market right now is high. And before you continue renting, you should go ahead and talk to a specialist and see if you are qualifying for the purchase. It might be even cheaper than your rent or at the same rate. But don't forget, you are building your wealth by owning the property. Now, speak to the mortgage professional and they will guide you through the process of qualifying. Or if you don't qualify, you would get the guidelines what to do next, what to pay attention on, how much money to save to have enough for the down payment, and work toward that goal, because purchasing the property is the beginning of building your wealth, and it's very important. Overall, with time, properties are growing in value, so that is the proof that that's our future wealth. Also, statistics of 2024 from National Association of Realtors tell us that the home buyers' age are much higher, meaning older people are becoming first-time buyers more than the younger people. Why do you think, Ray, this is happening?
I think it's just because of people are taking a little bit longer of making a decision of being a first-time buyers or own a property, because lately I think we have been not focusing in different activities in the world that happen, starting with COVID. I think that discouraged a lot of people to look into, but nevertheless, I believe that there is also a lack of information for them to actually start the process in getting pre-approved and start the process of talking to a realtor, talking to a professional, and why these people is actually getting older and buyer and on buying is because of I believe that seasoned buyers already are taking ahead of time, and there's a scarcity of properties that that the competition is high, and that's why they're left behind.
So the trends of the today's real estate is showing us that more and more activity in the real estate market is happening because of the repetitive buyers or sellers, people who feel comfortable on the real estate in the real estate market. So we encourage the first-time buyers, come to us, talk to the mortgage brokers, to the real estate brokers, and get the idea what to do, how to do, and how to buy, how to get your foot in the door, what to do to start buying the property. It is very important. You will benefit it in the long run. Also, I would like to look at the percentage of the reasons why people are buying homes. So 79% of buyers believe that home ownership is a good financial investment. Is that true? What is your overview of that statement?
I believe
Right.
it's true. I think it's a very good investment when you are purchasing a home, um, and because you create equity on the property as you go along paying the mortgage off. So by the time you get to a 10-year ownership, then you get a lot of equity on the property, and then you can actually jump to different investments at that point, or even sooner, depending on how the market goes. But I think it's when you buy, you're starting to win in the real estate industry.
So market value of the or the value in general of the properties are growing with time.
Correct.
So meaning that you're building yourself your equity. This is your wealth. So once you have the property and you have owned it for quite a while, you might be able to use that equity in there to purchase your next property and next property and next property. And that's how you, again, build your wealth. Also, I would like to pay attention on the statistics for the first time buyers. So 39% of the buyers believe that the buying a home is a better investment than stocks. Is that something we should consider?
To be honest, I think this is a pretty special question because stock brokerages or people that owns stocks might think differently. But the history show that if you invest in real estate, I think you have a steady growth of equity and a steady growth of your investment. I think 39% is correct. I mean, I believe the same way.
Also, 55% of buyers said that finding the right home was the most difficult part of the process due to low inventory, high prices, and of course, complicated step-by-step procedure. Ray, do you think this is correct?
Yes, it is correct. It is a very competitive market at this point. Properties are selling for, I think, more than 100% of asking price. And I think it is very important for you to consult with your real estate broker to strategize the offer or, to get ready to be competitive enough when you are considering buying. So it's very important to be looking out for those things when you are purchasing.
Well, again, talk to your real estate broker. It costs you nothing. Get familiarized with what you can afford, what you can do, and what is the process. And from there, the real estate broker can lead you through the negotiating process, through step-by-step contract, and also inspections, attorney reviews as a part of the real estate transaction. It's important to have someone who leads you through that and someone professional and with the experience. Also, 32% of first-time buyers found saving for a down payment to be the biggest challenge in the process. Ray, how would you comment on that?
Yes, I believe that they do have problems, but once you work with a real estate agent, we can figure out a way to get concessions from sellers and also grants from lenders or down payment assistance. So that's an option. But yes, for sure, to save for a down payment, I think is pretty tough. And I believe that once you get more information with different sources, with professionals, I think it will get easier. So that way you can only concentrate in the down payment and not in the closing costs.
Also, there are ways to ask for credits from the seller if you are buying, and that could help. FHA just moved their limits to 6% of the purchase price for the seller's concession. Is that something we can use to guide our first-time buyers?
Yes, that's for sure that we can use. But in this competitive market, we got to be more creative, using different sources of grants or down payment assistance. And also, for sure, we can always ask the seller to help us out with the cost of the mortgage.
I would like to, talking about the competitive real estate market, I would like to touch base about the cash buyers. There are more and more cash buyers in the game. And that, of course, puts lots of pressure on the first time home buyers because cash usually is a better advantage in negotiating prices and in negotiating the whole contract. Why do you think cash buyers are more and more here present?
I think it's an effect of the interest rate and also competitive offers that we have on the market that buyers are saying, okay, instead of financing, just gonna use my cash because that's gonna help me out to win the property or to get the property over multiple offers. And that's why there's an increasement of cash buyers at this point. There's a scarcity of properties and high interest, and also doesn't help sometimes to get a contract when you are competing with other ones. So cash is usually the king.
Absolutely.
Yes.
However, if you are well pre-qualified or pre-approved by a professional mortgage banker, and if you have a very experienced real estate broker on your side, you can go ahead and compete with cash buyers, correct?
Correct. That's correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, because they don't only consider the cash as a number, they consider all the terms on the contract. So that's why it's important to work with your real estate professional to kind of like elaborate or kind of like strategize the offer so you can have a winning situation.
Also, real estate brokers know how to present, how to negotiate, and how to lead you through this negotiation process without you being impacted by the competitors with the cash buyers or stronger offers. So talk to us. We can help. I would like to move our attention toward the sellers' trends. And now we have new statistics stating that sellers are staying longer in their houses. And this time moved to 10 years now. It used to be how many years, Ray?
I think it was 7 years, the statistic before, but now it's 10 years. And I think it's for the same reason, values of the properties are going higher, and also interest rates are higher. People bought, like, let's say 6 years ago with an interest of 2%. Now they cannot do anything because the interest rate is at 7%. So they rather probably rent the property instead of selling it or buy another.
Rent it out to someone?
To rent it out to someone else and then buy another property as they're gonna be moving into the property. No, so that's another option. But I think yes, sellers are actually staying longer years in their property at this point.
So let me ask you this: knowing the reasons why people move, how soon would they move? Would that give you more power as a negotiator for your client?
Oh, yes, of course. Yes. Everything is about timing in real estate sometimes because you have to strategize the offer depending on the urgency of the seller, how fast they want to sell it.
How motivated they are.
How much urgency, yes. So sometimes a lot of sellers are there in the market because they just want to sell it, but they don't want to sell it because, the price reflects that. And usually when you are dealing with a real estate professional, you're actually in target to sell the property, not to stay on the market.
What about sellers? How do they behave right now? What do they expect to get out of their pricing of their home? Are they expecting to get 100% of the asking price or maybe a little lower? What do the trends tell you? Current trends.
In my in my personal opinion, I think the sellers are always looking for the highest and best offer, or in this case, 100% of listing price, because that's what the statistics are showing us. But in general, I think uh, the most important part, I think, is to educate the seller at what point they can do that, because you know, if you overprice a property, it's not gonna be helpful for anybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, the reasons the sellers move, uh, according to the statistics of last year, is 23% wants to move closer to their friend and family. 12% say that their home too small. 11% needed even a smaller home, and 10% moved due to the neighborhood changes. So knowing all those details could be very helpful for the buyer and the seller to know how to go through the market changes and during this year. So let's use the statistics. Let's use those tools. Let's talk to our professionals. Um, Now, I would like to move our attention toward people who are trying to sell their homes on their own, which is for sale by owner without using a real estate brokerage. Uh, 90% of the sellers used the real estate broker last year, but 10% decided not to. How would you comment on that?
Well, I think we have a very good percentage as realtors to actually guide 90% of the sellers there. But for the 10%, more power to them. But just to let them know that, we have the full resources in hand. We know the trends of the market, and we can actually ultimately protect the equity that they have. So that's important. Sometimes, when you don't have the resources and we don't have the information, is that when you lose a lot of money on the table, thinking that you are saving some money. So I think that's important to just. But I think we're in good shape because 90% of the people are preferring working with realtors.
Also, Ray, I would like to ask you about the time to sell the property. How long does it take right now to sell the property? Is it longer than before, or it takes less time?
Well, in my opinion, I think it goes with the market, goes with the territory, because every market is different. Here in Chicago, we have different neighborhoods and different market time in every neighborhood. So, but I think it's according to the statistics, it's taking a little bit longer, about 3 weeks to get a contract overall. But in some places in our market, I think it's taking only 2 or 3 days to get it sold.
I think that the sellers, knowing that there is a shortage of inventory, they are pricing their properties at the highest. And usually there is a direct correlation between the price and the timing. It's like with any other product. If you want to sell faster, you have to lower the price. If you want to sell for more money, wait, be patient. And that's, of course, a strategy of the sale. And a professional as a real estate broker will help you to navigate that issue also. If you would like to have the most what you can get from your property, power to you, like we say.
Yes.
We can help with that, and we can strategize that. If you need to sell fast, sometimes there is another property coming which we need to purchase, and we need to sell first property first, and then we will have to just decrease the price. And by doing that, we can shorten the time of the sale. And that's, of course, could be advised and strategized by the real estate broker. So give us a call. Let us know if you would need the word on that. Next, what I would like to talk about is the overall strategies for buyers, sellers, and real estate brokers in the next or this current year, in 2025, judging by the statistics of 2024. So if the first home buyers face is increasingly less on the market than the repetitive buyers, what would Ray we suggest to the first time buyers now?
I believe that they have to actually work with a lender or a broker with the financing part first, get pre-approved, and watch the market how it's gonna be changing. Right now the interest rates are tending to go fluctuating towards lower interest rates. So I believe that it's gonna come up more opportunities, more affordability in terms of the first-time buyers. There are more inventory at this point, in all the markets that we're seeing in 2025. So there's an increasement of inventory. So they should get advantage of that if they are serious about buying. Get pre-approved and work with your realtor directly.
Call us, let us know. Also, cash buyers. Cash buyers are reshaping the market also because they are a very strong competition to the buyers who are financing their purchase.
Yes.
What would you suggest in this event?
Oh yes. Well, you have to work with a professional, with a real estate professional that is going to help you to strategize your offer because there are different parts on the contract that you can actually make your offer more convincing to the seller to accept yours. You can waive some inspections, or you can do some probably put the property in as is if you don't see that the property
Use the tricks of the trade, right?
correct. Yeah.
Use the tricks of the trade.
And a realtor will help you to do that because we're kind of like overview the contracts every time with different buyers and different needs, and we will be able to help you out with any need that you may have or any problem we might see on the offer. So it's very important that you work with your professional.
Get the strong pre-approval letter, and it might work better than even cash. Remember, the seller is getting the same amount of money, cash or financing. Ultimately, it's the money which the seller nets. And where do that money come from? From the cash buyer or from the financing buyer? It doesn't really matter. So get pre-approved, call us, we'll lead you through the process, be competitive on the market, get a better price. For sellers, proper prices and proper pricing actually and marketing are the keys for the successful sale. What do you think, Ray, sellers should pay attention on this year?
I believe that they have to be aware of financing changes on the market with the interest rate to motivate the buyer, and to get more. If we get more inventory on the market, we should also consider to help the buyer with some concessions ultimately, because that will help us out to get the highest price for the property. And to be open to work with buyers. Buyers are the ones that are actually directing the market at this point.
Interest rates. Interest rates has dropped. Interest rates have dropped just recently. A little bit. Right. However, if the tendency of the interest rate to go up persists, what should the buyer do? Should they get discouraged and should they stay away from the game until they drop, or should they act?
No, definitely not to drop, because property values are going higher and higher, and there is a scarcity of of properties to sell or to acquire, and there is a shortage, I believe, of 8 million properties in USA at this point. It used to be like 3 or 4 million, but now it's double. So there's the demand, and if you don't buy it now, I mean, when you're gonna buy it? It's just because you want to create some equity on your investment, and this is the time to buy. And regardless the market fluctuation of interest rates or values, I mean, the sooner you buy is the better.
Correct. And later you can refinance if the interest rates drop. If the refinancing process is a very smooth process also with your mortgage brokers, and they will notify you when it's time to refi your property. So don't get discouraged. Get pre-qualified, pre-approved. Talk to your mortgage brokers. Thank you for being with us, Ray. Thank you very much
My pleasure,
for
Constantine.
being present and explaining all the details and trends to our viewers. Thank you, and continue follow us. Profits Now.